the North Vietnamese were already beginning to roll up the north of the South Vietnam. And I had an office. I had, both Vietnamese and other Americans working for me, and we knew we were going to need money. So I said, go by my office in Hong Kong and pick up, $60,000 in $100 bills. Bring out, because we're going to need cash if all things, goes to shit, as it did. But I said, don't bring it in a suitcase. Tape it to your body. Because when you come through customs, they're going to ask you how much money you're bringing in, and all you can admit to is, I think it was a couple of $100. You'd say, yeah, I'm bringing $100. So he tapes all this money to himself, and he comes in wearing his usual Hawaiian shirt and Bermuda shorts and sneakers. And of course he gets off the plane at Thompson and goes into customs. Right there's a sign, declare your money. Anybody caught bringing in more than X $100 will be prosecuted. So this freaks him out. He gets through, and then he comes into town, and we were all staying at the Continental Palace. It's this old French colonial hotel in downtown Saigon. And I was out at the front that morning or something. I wasn't there, so I come back, and there was this Corsican who ran the hotel, half Corsican, half Vietnamese. And he said, Mr. Jenkins, he says, there's a guy from the CIA looking for you. I said, what do you mean, a guy from the CIA? He said, well, this guy, he's bald-headed and sunglasses, and he's wearing a Hawaiian shirt. It was this hunter trying to get a room at the hotel. Well, he then wandered out and tried to, there were all these money hustlers, and he still got $60,000 of American green taped to him, and he doesn't know he can't get in the hotel until I tell the proprietor that he's one of us and you can let him in. So he tried to change some money, not my money, thank God, on the street. And of course they gave him, the usual thing. They ripped him off. They gave him 3 bills of piastres wrapped around newspaper outside and disappeared. So by the time I get back to the hotel, he's freaking out. He says, everyone thinks I'm a CIA agent. I said, well, you look like one. Who else would dress like this in downtown Saigon in the middle of a war? And then the freak out stories continue. At some point, we're all sitting there. There's a curfew on at night, and then the hotel has this great inside patio, and all the journalists are all sitting around after filing their stories, just drinking and smoking and talking, and everyone's telling stories about getting in a car, going to the front, doing this, and the dangers and all of that. So Hunter at some point jumps on a plane and goes back to Hong Kong, spends 2 days there buying electronics, walkie-talkies. He comes back with a footlocker full of all these walkie-talkies that he then presses on all the different journalists because he wants to organize everyone so they can communicate. I mean, this is, before cell phones, before anything, there's no way to communicate. You're out in a Jeep at the front and that's it. So he spent tons of Rolling Stone money on communications equipment that he was distributing to try and get, the LA Times to carry one, and the New York Times, and Newsweek was going to, and it was all this. And then in the end, as the North Vietnamese got closer, he jumped on a plane and left. He didn't stay for the fall. I always joked with him. I just said, you met your real fear and loathing there and freaked out.